Okay, we're looking at Infinity Concert March, and this is a concert march by James Curnow. And I want you to look at your music, and regardless of what you're playing, if you're playing flute, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, trombone, French horn, tuba, what have you, there is a sheet that's associated with this, and I believe that you must have that on a separate sheet, because on the printed part it's on the back, but you'll have two sheets. And it's going to have several parts that explains the concepts, and we're not going to go over those because I'm sure that your band director has gone over that in class, but we are going to look at the melody. So look down at the bottom of the sheet and it will say melody, and it's the last two lines. And I'm going to play the clarinet, so regardless of what instrument you play, you will have this part that I'm preparing to play. All right? We're in 4/4, which means we've got 4 beats per measure. Quarter note gets the beat. And looks like everything is tongued, so we're not going to slur anything. Everything is tongued. Use the tip of the tongue against the reed or against the upper part of your palate behind your teeth, saying the syllable tu or ta. Okay? And other than that, there's one problematic measure, the next to the last measure. Anytime we have a dotted quarter note, everyone likes to cheat that. Now, dotted quarter notes receive 1.5 counts, but I tell students to think of it as 2 counts, because 90% of the time after that 2 counts, you're going to play, or after the dotted quarter, you're going to play an 8th note, especially on the middle school level or even in the high school level. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then the and is the next note. So 1, 2, and 3. Or in this case, you're playing 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. All right? So the dotted quarter does receive 1.5 counts, but we're going to think of it as 2. And then we're going to count 1, 2, and then the very next note will be an 8th note, which is the case here. So let me stop talking and set the metronome, I don't know, maybe 90. Listen to it one time, and then you can play along. Everybody will have the same notes regardless of what you're playing, what instrument you're playing. So here's the melody at the bottom. And we got a pickup note, which means the note right before the main body of the melody, and I'll say 1, 2, 3, you come in on 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's one interval jump in the first measure of the second line, and it's on beat 4. For clarinet, it's C up to G. For the other instruments, other than trumpet, because the trumpet and the clarinet read the same music basically on this level, you'll have a different set of notes, but you'll still have the interval of a perfect fifth, which is C up to G. So you might need to practice that skip several times, and you're going to you'll do that, and then you come down to the next note, which would be the following note, the dotted half note. So do this several times there. And we're on the first measure of the second line, beat 4 into the second measure. So do that several times, okay? And that will help you out with this. So now, you play along with me one time and then we'll get off of this. This is just a melody. You may not have this melody, but this melody is tossed around from different instrument to instrument. So you may have parts of this melody, but learning to play the melody correctly will help you to play the song correctly. All right, here we go. And 1, ready, go. So once you have that down fairly well, you should be able to play this entire piece. Looking at the clarinet part, that is a melody, and you will play that several times before you go to something else. There'll be some counter melodies in there, like the French horn. I believe you actually play along with the clarinet at 9. And it's funny how the composer has put the flute and the saxophone playing the same music at some points, and then other points the flute and the French horn play the same part. So it's sort of intermingled in there. So look for that when you're in band class playing this. You might not be able to tell it right away, but if you can, after you played this several times, you'll see that, oh, I'm playing the same part that the French horn is playing, or the French horn is playing the same part as the clarinet, or what have you. So look at that. I don't think you'll have any technical problems with this at all. Just hold your notes out full length. At 17, some of you are going to have a whole note tied to a quarter note. Well, 4 plus 1 is 5, and you just simply play that note for 5 counts. Take a real quick breath and come back in with the 8th notes at 18. And other than that, I don't see anything that should give you any trouble with Infinity. This is a fairly straightforward march, and hopefully this lesson will help most of you, if not all of you, to learn how to play Infinity Concert March. You're going to learn it by doing repetition. You're going to learn it by paying attention to your band director and playing in class and in sections, and just playing individually and having fun. So stay tuned for another lesson, and I will see you when I see you. Have a great day.